Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. In September of 1821, as autumn leaves began to turn along the Mississippi River, a group of bold merchants loaded $12,000 worth of trade goods, equivalent to over $315,000 today, onto a massive 65-foot keelboat. They were about to embark on a journey that would help forge one of America's most important commercial arteries, though history would soon nearly forget their names. While most history books credit William Becknell as the father of the Santa Fe Trail, it was actually the McKnight-James expedition that departed just days before him, blazing a parallel path through uncharted territory toward the promise of untold riches in the newly independent territory of Mexico. Welcome to Southwest Desert. Today, we're uncovering the true story of the first Santa Fe Trail expedition, a tale of brotherhood, imprisonment, daring river navigation, and a fateful discovery that would transform America's western expansion. The expedition that left St. Louis on September 1, 1821, was no ordinary trading venture. For John McKnight, a well-established St. Louis merchant, this journey was deeply personal. His brother Robert had been imprisoned in Spanish territory for 9 long years after an ill-fated 1812 trading mission. With news that Mexico had just declared independence from Spain, McKnight saw his chance to free his brother while potentially opening lucrative new trade routes. Joining McKnight was Thomas James, an experienced trader who would later chronicle their journey, his brother John James, and 6 additional men who would serve as handlers, guards, and laborers. Together, they formed a determined party with $12,000 in trade goods, an enormous sum for the time, and dreams of commercial success in the newly accessible Mexican territories. What made their journey particularly significant was its timing. Mexico had just gained independence from Spain, and the borders that had long been closed to American traders were beginning to crack open. The McKnight-James party was positioning themselves to be among the first to capitalize on this historic opportunity. Unlike William Becknell, who would depart Missouri shortly after them and take a direct overland route, the McKnight-James expedition chose a different strategy. They loaded their considerable cargo onto a massive keelboat and embarked down the Mississippi River, planning to turn west at the Arkansas River and navigate as far inland as possible before transitioning to land. The keelboat itself was a marvel of frontier engineering, roughly 65 feet long and 15 feet wide, with enough capacity to carry their entire inventory of trade goods. Navigation was brutally physical work. When the wind wasn't cooperative for sailing, the men employed 2 primary methods of propulsion: cordelling and poling. Cordelling required men to walk along the shoreline, pulling the massive vessel with ropes attached to its mast. The ropes ran through a system of rings to maintain proper angles as the men laboriously dragged the boat upstream. This back-breaking work was often complicated by rough terrain, dense vegetation, and unstable riverbanks. When the shores were too treacherous for cordeling, the crew turned to poling. Men would position themselves along the sides of the boat with long wooden poles, plant them firmly against the river bottom, and walk from bow to stern, pushing the boat forward before returning to the bow to repeat the process. Under optimal conditions, they might make 15 miles in a day, but challenging waters could reduce their progress to a crawl. The expedition traveled down the Mississippi for approximately 600 miles before turning westward onto the Arkansas River near present-day Arkansas City. Their progress was measured, deliberate, and exhausting, a stark contrast to Becknell's faster but more dangerous direct overland approach. By the fall of 1821, the expedition had navigated roughly 25 miles west of the Cimarron River's mouth, near what is now Hominy, Oklahoma. Here, they faced a critical decision. The river had become too shallow to continue, forcing a dramatic change in transportation strategy. The party split temporarily. 2 men remained with the valuable cargo while the others journeyed approximately 75 to 100 miles to an Osage village near present-day Claremore, Oklahoma. There, through careful negotiation and diplomatic interaction with the Osage tribe, they acquired 23 horses, enough to transport their considerable inventory overland. With their newly acquired horses, the expedition carefully redistributed their cargo, prioritizing the most valuable and necessary items. Some goods may have been cached or left behind, though records don't specify exactly what sacrifices were made. The party then began the challenging task of navigating without established trails through western Oklahoma, across the Texas Panhandle, and finally into New Mexico territory. According to Thomas James's later account, they arrived in Santa Fe on December 1, 1821, though historical records suggest William Becknell's party had arrived 2 weeks earlier. Curiously, neither expedition mentions encountering the other, creating an enduring historical mystery. Were their routes different enough to prevent meeting? Did memories fade over time, leading to discrepancies in the written record? With limited primary sources, these questions remain unanswered. When the McKnight-James party arrived in Santa Fe, they found a community at the cusp of transformation. The territory had just gained independence from Spain as part of Mexico, and the political climate was rapidly evolving. For American traders, this represented unprecedented opportunity, though not without challenges. The expedition divided its efforts upon arrival. The James brothers established a trading location in Santa Fe, displaying their merchandise and developing pricing strategies for a market that was eager for American goods but hampered by currency scarcity. Meanwhile, John McKnight made financial arrangements with Thomas James and embarked southward on a mission to find his imprisoned brother. The journey to Durango, deep in northern Mexico, took approximately 4 to 5 months round trip. There, he finally located Robert McKnight, who had endured 9 years of imprisonment following his 1812 trading attempt. The brothers returned to Santa Fe in April 1822, marking a poignant personal triumph amid mixed commercial results. Back in Santa Fe, the expedition faced economic reality. While there was demand for their goods, actual currency was in short supply throughout the newly independent territory. After assessing the market conditions, the party made strategic decisions about their inventory. They sold their remaining goods to a Spanish merchant for $1,000 in cash, plus a substantial number of horses and mules, essential for their return journey and valuable commodities in Missouri. By early June 1822, the expedition was ready to return east. Their party had grown to include Hugh Glenn, who had arrived in the West with Jacob Fowler, a seasoned plainsman in his late 50s. Together, they managed a substantial herd of 140 horses and mules, with 83 belonging to the McKnight-James party, a considerable increase in wealth from their departure. On June 13, 1822, they encountered another westbound expedition led by Benjamin Cooper from Franklin, Missouri. Cooper's party included his nephews Braxton and Stephen Cooper, Joel Walker, and 10 additional men, carrying $4,000 to $5,000 in trade goods. This chance meeting provided valuable opportunity for information exchange. The eastbound party shared details about trail conditions, Native American activity, and Santa Fe market information, while the westbound party carried messages back to Missouri. The return journey was not without incident. Along the Osage Trail near the Neosho River, the party lost 38 animals to theft by members of the Osage tribe. This significant loss forced another strategic division of the expedition. McKnight, James, and several others constructed or acquired canoes and pirogues for water travel. They navigated the Osage River to the Missouri River and finally reached St. Louis by mid-July 1822. The remaining party members continued overland with the surviving animals, arriving sometime later. Perhaps the most significant moment of the return journey came on June 28, 1822, when the Glenn Fowler portion of the party made an astonishing discovery. Taking a circuitous route to avoid potential Native American conflicts, they came upon something unprecedented in present-day Franklin County, Kansas: wagon tracks. The discovery initially provoked disbelief. The tracks clearly showed the width, depth, and distinctive pattern of wagon wheels, yet no one had previously attempted to bring wagons through this territory. The party followed the mysterious tracks for approximately 2 days before losing the trail and continuing their journey eastward. What they had stumbled upon, though they couldn't fully appreciate its significance at the time, were the tracks from William Becknell's second expedition to Santa Fe. Unlike his first journey or the McKnight-James expedition, Becknell had boldly brought wagons on his return trip, a decision that would revolutionize the Santa Fe trade. Jacob Fowler's journal entry from the day marks one of the most understated yet pivotal moments in Western expansion: wagon tracks where none should exist, pointing toward a future where heavy goods could move efficiently across the continent. The combined impact of these nearly simultaneous expeditions, McKnight-James, Becknell, and Cooper, cannot be overstated. Each contributed unique elements to what would become the Santa Fe Trail, a commercial artery that would transform America's western territories. Join my Patreon community and discover my art print products on my website in the links provided in my description and link above. Also, if you would like a particular image from my videos, give the timestamp for image, and I will upload it to my website and Patreon. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest story. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. If you like a certain image from my videos, tell me in comments and give timestamp. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.